What's up, everyone? Eli here, back for a CD collection video. It's been a while since I've done these. I got some pretty fucking cool new stuff videos coming soon, but I got packages out there that have just been taking for fucking ever to get to me. So, since I've been unpacking shit in my new place, I've been kind of unboxing my CDs, and yeah, I mean, these are probably my favorite videos to do, and I haven't done one in a while, so we'll do that. We're going to start off kind of going back to one of the last few videos, because I had a couple CDs that I'd misplaced, so they weren't in the video that they should have been in. But so yeah, let's start off with those two. We have the Stranger Eons EP from Entombed, Earache Records, back in '92. It's just three tracks, but they're three good tracks, and this is still back when Entombed was awesome. We got Stranger Eons, Dusk, and Shreds of Flesh, recorded at Sunlight Studios, of course. Yeah, definitely a worthy addition in the Entombed collection, even if you're not a fan of all their stuff. And then we'll go back to this one. And I knew this one was misplaced when I did the video that it should have been in, and I almost wanted to just stop immediately, but I pushed on. We have one of the best Black Death bands out of Florida ever. One of the most underrated American bands. They're kind of like a combination of, say, like Mystifier and maybe Angel Corpse or something like that. We have Equinox, the Immortal Kind. I think this is an EP, if I remember correctly. This was the last thing they ever did. Back in 2006, Metal Bullock Records, not a label I'm familiar with, but yeah, dudes from Druid Lord in this band, among other great Florida bands. I really want to get their other stuff. I don't know why I haven't. Maybe I'll try to push for that in my sometime this year. But yeah, great band and super fucking underrated. Like I said, if you like Angel Corpse, Mystifier, stuff like that, get some Equinox. All right, now we are current. We're back to where we left off in the last collection video. This is the other Facebreaker CD that I have that I think I was kind of talking about. This is Infected, Metal Blade Records from 2010. Looks like Metal Blade and Cyclone Empire. Still have one of these annoying fucking things I never took off. And as I said before, I'm not a big fan of this band. This is not quite my cup of tea when it comes to death metal. I bought it because it was a couple bucks, and I knew I'd get a couple bucks worth of enjoyment out of it. So, Swedish death metal definitely sound like Swedish death metal, albeit with a little bit more of like a hardcore tint to their music. A little bit more focused on, groove and those, those hardcore elements in the music. So it's, it's chunky, it's catchy, and it's brutal, but just not something I could, listen to all the time. Now we have, this was a cool band from California. They put out this album, and then they went away for a long time. Came back, put out another album, and it seems like they've been pretty quiet ever since. But this came out on Ibex Moon Records. This was kind of a short-lived record label, but very cool. Ran by John McEntee from Incantation. So we have Fatalist, The Depths of Inhumanity. This is a good album. Clearly, these guys were paying homage to you guessed it, Entombed, and in the music as well. This is definitely, Swedish, death metal worship. However, done really, really well. I remember back, maybe it was on Facebook, because this came out in 2009, so I might have been on MySpace still at that time. I can't remember. But some kind of social media, I remember one of the guys from this band telling a story about how, what's his name? That guy from that Swedish guy that passed away. Was it Black Moon? Anyway, I just woke up. I can't remember what bands he was in, whether it was Necrophobic or Dark Funeral or both. Black Moon or Blackheim, I can't remember. But anyway, he actually sent one of the guys from this band a message on social media and was like, "Dude, I love your band. It totally reminds me of my childhood and my teenage years. I thought it was pretty cool. Sorry for the half-assed story, but it has meaning if you tell it right. And the last cluster of albums here are going to be all from the same band, one of my favorite bands ever. I did not get their album from 2020. I'll admit I haven't really been that into their last couple albums. I think they've been fine, but they just really haven't done much for me. As a fan, I should get it though. I can't write it off having never heard it. But we have one of the best, I guess you could say traditional metal bands. Not super traditional though. Out of the U.S., Connecticut's Fate's Warning with Spectre Within. This is the oldest album I have of theirs. This originally came out in '85. This is a 2002 repress. There's the back. Band members at the time. So, with this band, obviously they're kind of known for being a progressive metal band. And I'm not arguing with that at all, but in their earlier days, they were more of a traditional metal band, even like even kind of a proto-power metal. You could probably call it American power metal. It was traditional metal, and, the kind of the roots of power metal, but it was, they were always just a little bit more complex than a lot of their peers. And I think that may have held them back a little bit, at the same time getting them attention. They're kind of a cult classic band. They're not, they didn't sell millions of records. Underrated, if you ask me. I think they deserved much better. But I do, give them a lot of credit for persevering. And this is not my favorite of their earlier albums. It's really fucking good. But out of their earlier stuff, my favorite would have to be this one right here, Awaken the Guardian. This is also a repressing from 2005. Album came out in '86, so just a year after that one. This is a cool 3-disc repressing on Metal Blade Records. It's got, what does it come with? It's been a while since I've opened this up, and I usually just listen to the album. You've got disc 1 and 2 in here. And I'm gonna have to refresh myself. So disc 1, it looks like the album, just the original album. Disc 2, if I can do this without screwing everything up. Disc 2, I think some demo tracks. Okay, demo and live tracks. Very cool. Cool. Die Young, Black Sabbath cover. That's awesome. Played that live. So yeah, demos and covers, or demos and live tracks. And then the third disc, which, I don't even know if I've ever fucking watched this. Massive fail. I'm gonna watch this tonight. This is a live show from Sundance, Long Island, New York, in 1986, dude. That's fucking awesome. Why I haven't watched this, I don't know. I have no fucking excuse. One of the best metal albums of all time. Amazing. And we're gonna move on. I don't have all their stuff, so I do have holes in the discography. So this one right here originally came out in '88. This is a 2007 repress on Metal Blade Records. No Exit. Now this album, slipcase. This album would be known for the first album of their new singer. What's his name? Ray something. And I gotta not do videos right after waking up. Anyways, their first couple albums, they had a singer named John Arch, who is truly fucking amazing. however, he left the band. They had to replace him. They got Ray Alder, who I gotta say, a lot of people are like, yeah, after Ray left, I just can't get into the band. They did become a different band, definitely. They would definitely become more progressive as they went on. This one right here still kind of retains a little bit of that early sound. This is kind of like almost their crossover record. Not crossover in the traditional sense, but crossover where they would, they were still playing that, that early US power metal, traditional metal, stuff they were doing before. They would add a little bit of thrash influence on this one. From what I remember reading, a lot of the band members were really, really into thrash at this time. It was 1988. Who wasn't? But they also started to write much more complex music. It was already getting pretty complex in Awaken the Guardian, but it would get even more complex and progressive in this album right here. This version also has a bonus DVD, which I apparently have lost because it's not here. I think I have it somewhere, but yeah, like I said, I think Ray Alder is a fantastic vocalist. He can hit all the high notes that Jeff Tate and Rob Halford could hit. He could carry it, he could carry a tune. If you ask me, a world-class singer, every bit as good as Jeff Tate and Rob Halford. So how you could have a problem with him joining the band, I'm not really sure. But after this album, they would definitely start to, progress. You would have, this album came out in, 89, I think? So they're putting them out pretty frequently back in those days. Yeah, 89, Metal Blade Records still. Perfect Symmetry. This is the first album that they did that I would consider true progressive metal. They weren't focusing as much on the traditional elements or thrash elements that they were vibing with on that last one. This is more like, I don't want to say more like Dream Theater, but more in that direction, of, complex progressive metal. And this is a great album. Even a lot of fans of, just strictly early Faith Warning, a lot of those guys like this album, like King Fally, from Deceased. He really likes this album. I don't think he cares much for anything beyond this. Don't quote me on that, because I would say, and I don't know his opinion on this next one, but this next album is actually my favorite. This is my favorite Faith Warning album of all time. And that might be because this is actually the first album I got from Faith Warning. That could mean a lot, but I gotta say, even when I first got it, it didn't vibe with me for a while. I wasn't instantly into this. I think it took a couple years, maybe even longer. We have 91, right? Yeah, 91 Parallels. And you can see this thing's, it's old and it's beat up, but it's my original copy, and I'm always going to keep it. So this album is a little bit more stripped down from the last one. Still has that Perfect Symmetry sound, but it's streamlined. It's still progressive sounding, but at the same time, it is, I don't know, listener friendly, I guess you could say. Like my buddy Chris, actually, he loves this album too, but he referred to this as their Empire, like Empire from Queens of Reich. I can see his point, but I wouldn't go that far. Empire is really fucking streamlined. This one is still, I don't know, there's still a lot of depth to it that I feel like Empire doesn't have. So you could use that as a reference point. He's not wrong, but I still think there's a lot more artistic expression. It's an easy to listen to album, but at the same time, it does take, it's rewarding. It's easy to listen to, but at the same time, it's not super easy to listen to. I mean, a lot of these songs are long. They're not super dynamic. They are, you really do have to, you have to sit there and you have to listen. And these tracks are very rewarding if you do it right. Like I said, these songs are long. They're not 3-4 minute songs. They're catchy, but, they're slow burners. But yeah, highly, highly recommended album. If you know Faith Warning, and you've never heard this. I'm sure there's a lot of people. Even though this was, this album did pretty well for them. I think it was one of their highest sellers, out of all the albums they ever did. But how this band didn't go on to like a huge major label, I'm not really sure. Although, I guess they kind of did. I don't know if they did it on the last album. I think it was for this album. They were still signed to Metal Blade, but they were like licensed to Reprise Records, which was like a Warner Brothers subsidiary or whatever. So I don't know. Sold pretty well from what I heard. And last but not least, still a very good album. Still kind of along the lines of Parallels. Not, if you ask me, not quite as good. Still pretty fucking good. We have Inside Out from '94. This one definitely attempts to keep those Parallels vibes going while still, doing its own thing. There's a lot of passionate lyrics on this one. It's a very serious sounding album. Mark Zonder's drumming, for me, might be the highlight of this album, and his his presence on Parallels is a huge bonus as well. Mark Zonder, one of my favorite drummers. Great fucking drummer, and he's actually my favorite. Fates Warning have had a couple drummers, and Mark Zonder's, for me, he's just the Fates Warning guy. They've had some good drummers since he left, some really good drummers, but I always find myself listening to the drumming, and I'm just like, whatever Mark Zonder had, I miss that. They might have someone who's more technical and more flashy, but Mark just has the perfect style. Technical prowess, but class and restraint. Not just playing, constant fills just to show off. Just a classy fucking drummer. So, anyways, that's all I got for now. It looks like I went through this one pretty quick, which is not my goal, by the way. I always find it annoying. I don't know about you guys. I find it annoying, and people do this a lot. They did it a little more in the past. I don't see it as much now, where like metal YouTubers are always like, they always seem like they're in a rush, like they had to catch a fucking plane or something. They'd always be like, all right, we're gonna try to keep this video real short. Gotta keep it short. And it's like they're stressing through the video to make it short. I get it that, if you check your analytics, and I check mine every now and then, not a ton of people watch the whole video. But for me, I don't give a shit. I'm going to make the video how I want. If only 5 or 10 people watch the whole thing, that's fine. If you only want to watch the first 3 minutes, that's fine too. I don't give a shit. I'm not doing this for views or popularity or anything. I think I've stated that before, but that's still something that's important to me. But anyways, I do thank you guys for watching, whether you watch 3 minutes or the whole thing. That's up to you. I don't care. But I appreciate you showing up and, spending a little time with me. Like I said, I got some really, really cool shit coming in the mail if the USPS can just fucking deliver it on time, which they haven't. I'm going to go off on a little bit of a rant. I'm going to try not to go into any political territory, and it'll be quick. Gotta keep it quick. But this is it. So, if you go to the USPS website, it's plastered all over the fucking thing. Please bear with us or whatever. We have unprecedented delays due to employees being down with COVID-19. I get that. I'm sure a lot of employees are down with the virus. This is where I have a problem. I'm definitely a regular at all 3 post offices in my area. All 3 fairly nearby. They're all in 3 different towns, but they're all within 10, 15 minutes apart from each other. Small towns. Ever since the pandemic I still have to go to the post offices. And ever since, this whole thing started, and to this day, I walk in there and I see maybe one employee wearing a mask. I'm not going to go on some fucking mask rant where I'm going to try to make you, make sure your opinion matches mine. But look at it. I wear mine when I'm out in public, everywhere I go. Um, do I think they're 100% effective? Of course not. But why would you not, you know, take such a small measure to protect yourself and to protect people around you? I don't feel safe when I go into these post offices because the asshole employees, like I said, every time I go in there, I might see one guy or girl wearing a fucking mask out of the whole staff every time I go in. So don't complain to me and don't ask for, for pity, or don't ask me to bear with you when you're not enforcing things like this. You're not even taking the smallest of measures to make sure your employees are safe. Don't ask me for pity. If my packages are late, I'm gonna ask for a fucking refund. They need to learn a lesson. At my work, we've had a couple people down with the virus. Luckily we're a small company, but every time we've had someone down, we've suffered. We're a small company. We need all our people. We need everyone to be healthy. Luckily, they have all rebounded from it, but they were all down for at least 2 weeks, because I think you have to quarantine or whatever for minimum of 2 weeks. So every time that happened, but we didn't ask, for anyone to pity us or whatever. But also we are taking measures, to try and keep us all safe, or doing our best. So, anyways, like I said, that wasn't meant to be a political rant. It's just, call it what you will. But, anyways, I do thank you guys for stopping by. Hopefully we'll talk soon. Louis says hello. He's in the background. Cheers.